What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Alright, so before I get into this video, I want to give a big shout out to the brother Clayton Phillips for the donation to the channel via the PayPal. Much respect to him for once again gracing us with love as far as monetary donation. Salute to you. Salute to all of you guys who are regular donators to this channel. And to my other channel, Too Raw for Sports and Too Raw Media. So a request that I got was, what would have happened if LeBron played for New York? Now, and in particular, could he handle the stress of playing in New York? Because as we all know, there's a difference between playing for a large market team and a small market team. Unless you can control the narrative. So let's look at this. I'm going to make the assumption that he means LeBron being drafted by the Knicks, which of course would mean that the fairy tale story of a kid from Akron playing for his hometown team, more or less, doesn't come to pass, but instead he plays for a large market franchise that is desperately still trying to stay above the fray as one of the best teams in the NBA. Because at that time, in real life, the New York Knicks were transitioning from being one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference to becoming a team of mediocrity, and then ultimately, for many, many, many years, a team that was a bottom feeder, if not just in the Eastern Conference, in the NBA, period. I remember one year they only won, what was it, a couple years, only won 17 games, I think 2 years. Ouch. Now, of course, they had a couple of good seasons. They had that 1 year under Carmelo where they won 54 games, but things have definitely been on the upswing as of late for the Knicks. But back then, they were on a definite downswing. After being one of the better teams in the East in the 1990s, being a rival to the Bulls, even though it was a one-sided rivalry, and then a rival to the Heat, things were on a decline. Now, 2003-2004 season, that would have been LeBron's first year in New York. Now, one thing I do know for certain, I can't see LeBron playing with Stephon Marbury. He would have to be out of there. So, in real life, he was that point guard, but I don't see how it working with Steph. Excuse me, with Steph. Funny when I think Steph, now I think Curry, but it wouldn't have worked with Steph playing with LeBron. Now, one thing that would be different back then, people got to remember there was definitely pressure on LeBron to live up to the hype. Not just to play well, but to actually win and have the type of effect that a superstar has in turning around a franchise. I think there would have been a lot of criticism at first, a lot more noise, because he's not playing for the lowly Cavaliers, he's playing for the New York Knicks, who at that time was held in higher esteem than y'all right now. It would have been like, look, can he deliver the first championship in 30 years for the Knicks? A lot of that talk. One advantage LeBron would have had, because there definitely been a lot more criticism, a lot more media criticism. Definitely. He hadn't built his bona fides yet. He hadn't really made his mark in the NBA, made his bones to get the benefit of the doubt or the clout that he has today. You know what I'm saying? Today he's an elder statesman in the league. Back then he was just a rookie. So while I do think that the team would have improved, and I think they would have had some good seasons, and I think they would have went to the playoffs, I can't see them winning titles, really, because the Western Conference was just so much more dominant back then. So, while I do believe that he would have had more help than he did in Cleveland because players would have wanted to go to New York. There's a lot more, money making opportunities in the Big Apple compared to Cleveland. And plus, players will want to live in New York, play in New York. But New York isn't for everybody, and we all know that LeBron struggles a lot with criticism, and I'm thinking he would have had a lot of more meltdowns in the playoffs back then, especially earlier in his career, the first 5, 6, 7 years. I think he would have had a lot more meltdowns. Now, do you make the argument that does he go to New York instead of Miami in 2010? Does he go to New York then? Is it Carmelo and LeBron in New York? Even though essentially they play the same damn position. But let's just say LeBron plays power forward. I don't know, whatever the hell. Would that have worked? I don't know, man. You got two guys who need the ball. But, as we saw, Carmelo ultimately adapted to the NBA, right? So maybe he would have adapted to playing with LeBron, become more of a catch-and-shoot guy, more off the ball. Maybe. Maybe it would have won a title in New York. But there's another thing you got to factor in here, too. By that point in time, LeBron was a Clutch Sports guy, right? And Clutch Sports does not affiliate with Leon Rose. There's a rivalry there. That's why there's no Clutch Sports players that play for the New York Knicks. They don't even negotiate with the New York Knicks. So if that's the case, after 2010, I can't see LeBron playing with the Knicks. If he's still with Clutch Sports, and everything's the same outside of that. But let's just say Leon Rose isn't there, and the possibility is that instead of in 2018 going to LA, he plays for the Knicks. Well, the thing is, by that point in time, LeBron has so much power and influence that it may not matter. It'll probably be the same deal of him playing with LA. Apologists everywhere, the media singing his praises everywhere. It doesn't matter. It wouldn't even matter at that point. So, whatever little criticism he do get, it's going to be shut down because the mainstream media is not going to be allowed to criticize him anymore. So that's how I kind of look at it. Like, now would he win a championship in New York? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Every time LeBron's won a championship, it's been courtesy of playing on a super team. Or damn near a super team. So I don't know if LeBron would still have 4 championships in these scenarios. I think he would have a couple, but I don't know if he would have 4. But the stats would be pretty much the same. The same old schemes. You know what I'm saying? LeBron James brings back prosperity in New York and all this crap. They would definitely still be one of the top teams in the East, I think. If LeBron's on the roster, they're going to be, the NBA is going to make sure the Knicks are all right. You know what I'm saying? That's just my take on it. But yeah, all in all, if it's earlier in his career, I think playing in New York, the pressure might get to him a little bit more. But if it's later on, nah. Because by that point in time, LeBron has so much prestige, it doesn't even matter. It's not even really going to matter. They're going to change the narrative. If the Knicks lost somehow, it's never going to be his fault. It's going to be teammates' fault. So you know how that goes. But that's just how I feel about it. But tell me what you guys think.